Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good day to panel. Before I start, I will introduce myself. My name is Nur Sabrina bin Sulaiman, Bachelor of Sport Management. The title of my research is The Predictor to Moral Disengagement in Sport, Perception of the Sukma Para Athlete. Table of content have said Introduction, Literature Review, Methodology, Research Finding, Discussion and last is reference. In introduction, have background of the study, problem statement and research objective. Background of the study. Sport is assumed to provide a vehicle for learning to cooperate with teammates, negotiate and give solution to moral conflict, develop self-control, display courage, and learn virtues such as teamwork, witness, and self-control. Next is Vaidva Karma 2001. Moral disengagement has been positively linked with antisocial behavior and negatively associated with pro-social behavior in the sport context. Next is Bandura 1986, 1991 and 1999 proposed that people made an ethical decision when more self-regulatory process that normally unethical behavior reactive via use the several intellect, cognitive, mechanical, correlatively moral disengagement. Statement of problem. Iskandar was caught smoking in the hotel room at the Thomas Cup final in Bangkok, Thailand in May. He accepted the Badminton Association of the Malaysia (BAM) dropped him from the ASEAN Games squad. The Star, July 2018. Next is in January 2020, a Major League Baseball investigation found the Houston Astros guilty of the egregious cheating scheme suggesting. Next is since the philosophy of the education-based athletics and the sportsmanship critical based at the high school level. And David Stone 2015. Research objective have two. First is to identify the predictor to moral disengagement individual reference in sport of the Sukma para athlete. Second is to investigate the relationship between predictor to moral disengagement individual reference in sport and moral disengagement in the sport of the Sukma para athlete. In literature review have conceptual framework. Literature review. The predictor to moral disengagement in sport. Moral awareness. According to RES 1986, moral awareness first step toward making a moral distinction or a general ability to recognize the moral issue. Next is ego goal orientation. Nicholas 1989 suggests that two distinct position goal orientation shape how an individual defines success and failures in the achievement domain. And next is empathy. Empathy is the person's ability to take another point of a view and to share personal emotional experience. Moral disengagement. Moral disengagement consistent with work examining moral disengagement outside of the sport. Bandura 1996. Moral disengagement is a term of the social psychology in the process of consciousing oneself that ethical standard in the specific content do not apply to oneself. Sport can be described as a physical exercise and skill activity for which a person or team competes for the entertainment against other. Stoll 2000. Moral refer to the right and acceptable society sanction. Most people are morally motivated and follow guidelines for society. Research framework: independent variable, empathy, moral awareness, and ego goal orientation. Dependent variable is moral disengagement. Methodology have research design, sampling, instrumentation, data collection procedure, and data analysis. Research design. This study is not experimental research using quantitative design. Next, this research study involves a process of the analysis and data collection using random survey. And correlation descriptive research has been choose to identify if the relationship between predictor to moral disengagement, individual difference is sport and moral disengagement in sport of the Sukma para athlete. Sampling. The population in the study is the Sukma para athlete. The sample of the study is Sukma para athlete. The sample size determined from the 1,215 population will be 356 respondents. Kerja and the Morgan sample size 1917. Sampling technique use the sample random sampling. This technique is a probability sampling technique and the basic sampling technique where we collect a group for the sample for the study from a population. Exclusion criteria. Semua para atlet have the questionnaire in the Bahasa Melayu version. Exclusion criteria is this questionnaire include for the those who are not prefer to answer in English. Sampling. Each individual in choosing entirely by the chance and each member of the population has an equal chance of the being included in the sample. Next is the questionnaire in the form or Google form will the post in social media such WhatsApp or Telegram. The reason is easy to distribute the questionnaire and to ensure the random of the sample. Instrumentation. Part A is respondent demographic. Part B is predictor to moral disengagement, individual difference. Part C is moral disengagement. The questionnaire provide in two language which cover both Malay and English language. Next, instrumentation. Crown-based alpha value by each predictor to moral disengagement, individual difference, and moral disengagement. Dimension have four. First is empathy, second is moral awareness, third is ego goal orientation, and last is moral disengagement. Alright. Empathy, number of item have 5. Crown-based alpha 0.698. Moral awareness is number of item have 5. Crown alpha is 0.815. Ego goal orientation, number of item is 5. Foreign batch alpha is 0.694. And last is moral disengagement. Number of item is 10. Foreign batch alpha is 0.816. Data collection procedure. Researcher will seek ethical approval from the research committee in UiTM, seek permission to collect the data from the admin of UiTM. The respondent will receive the questionnaire. The questionnaire will be distributed via Google Form to the respond online, and the researcher will explain detail about the research study. Respondent may answer the questionnaire at the convenient time and send the full questionnaire using the Google Form. Data analysis. Research objective have two. First is to identify the predictor to moral disengagement individual difference in sport of the Sukma para athlete. Data analysis, descriptive statistic. Second of research objective is to investigate the relationship between predictor to moral disengagement in the sport and the moral disengagement in sport of the Sukma para athlete. The data analysis is person correlation. Research finding have descriptive result and correlation of the finding. Descriptive result. RO1 to identify the predictor moral disengagement in sport of the Sukma para athlete. Okay, factor have 3 factor. First is empathy. The N overall 356 respondent, mean is 3.34 and standard deviation is 0.47. Moral awareness is the mean is 3.19, standard deviation is 0.55, and last is ego goal orientation. The mean is 3.29, standard deviation is 0.64. Correlation of the finding. RO2 to investigate the relationship between predictor to moral disengagement in sport and moral disengagement in sport of the Sukma para athlete. Present correlation between empathy and moral disengagement is R is 0.80 and P is 0.133. The N is 356. This is significant. Next is person correlation relationship between moral awareness and moral disengagement. R is negative 0.010 and P is 0.848 and N is 356. The relationship between moral awareness and moral disengagement is not significant. Last is person correlation relationship between ego goal orientation and moral disengagement. R is 0.438, P is 0.000 and N is 356. The relationship between ego goal orientation and moral disengagement is P is significant. Discussion to identify the predictor moral disengagement in sport or of Sukma para athlete. The first was the empathy and ego goal orientation could be positively related to the predictor moral disengagement in sport or Sukma para athlete. Duda and Corrigus 1991 found lower task orientation to be linked with the higher endorsement of unsportsmen like play and cheating and higher this approval of good sportsmanship. Additionally, REST 1986 empathy is important to moral judgment, suggesting empathy to increase one moral sensitivity to a situation. Discussion RO2 to investigate the relationship between predictor to moral disengagement in sport and moral disengagement in sport of the Sukma para athlete. To investigate the relationship between predictor to moral disengagement in sport and moral disengagement sport Sukma Wortley and the Kawasanu 2008 work related positive relationship. Bandura 1991 is a morality as a displaying social behavior that conform to societal norm. Conclusion, the study extend the previous work on the moral disengagement, particularly in the sport domain. Sport empathy, awareness and task orientation negatively predict moral disengagement in sport, while ego orientation and perceived teammate behavior positively predict moral disengagement in sport. This factor likely predispose individual to perceive situation in way that make moral disengagement more or less likely in the sport domain. Ultimately, it is imperative that law, sport, research and practitioner work collectively with maximally individual sport experience.